What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the Fumble Live. I'm Devin Howard on Instagram, is @DevinHoward.
And I'm Jackie Wade. Look, I did you yesterday. What you did yesterday.
We're getting our names up here.
Everywhere on social media @JRayTheFanatic.
And I am Britt Johnson. You can follow me on all social media @IamBrittJohnson.
And I'm a disappointed Chris. You can follow me everywhere at CK2K because I
Wait,
cannot
what's
believe
new?
we had 2 days in a row of you. Look at you guys passing back and forth, messing up your names. What was your name yesterday? Bridget?
Oh, yeah, you said Bridget, but I thought you said Jackie
guys.
Ray. What did you say?
I said Jack. And
You said Jack. We got Jack and Bridget on
Jack,
stage
what's my
today.
name?
Jack and Bridget up in here. We got a new show.
New people,
Alter
new
ego.
hosts.
Alter ego.
We're
Man.
rebranding. So
Right.
from here on out, I'm Desiree. So welcome, everybody.
Desiree.
My sister's name.
Oh, that works.
Look, man, all you guys were doing, you're staying on brand. You guys were fumbling your names, right?
Oh, I see what you
Hey,
did,
Chris.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. What you talking about?
All right, you guys, I just want to fill you in on what we're going to be discussing in today's live really quickly. We're talking about Rudy Gobert and how he's not being fined or suspended. We're going to talk all about that. We're also talking about the Suns and how they're planning on continuing the season through this suspension. We're going to talk about the new rules that the NBA just released for all of the athletes. They're kind of interesting. It was an interesting announcement to be made. And finally, talking about Kevin Love and how he's helping out employees and arena workers. I love what Kevin Love did.
Right?
His name is perfect
Showing
for
the
this.
love from
Yes.
Kevin Love.
So can I
Yeah,
stop
please.
you really quick with breaking news? The NBA just announced they plan to move forward with the season on Wednesday.
Wednesday.
So that changes our whole show for...
I know, I'm like,
Wait, this
Wait,
is
can we
actually...
get details? Can you click? We need details.
yeah.
Hold on.
we need details.
So-
We need details.
Let me get some details really quick.
This is happening right now,
So
you
I
guys.
guess I'll just read the whole thing. There was a brief moment in the NBA, but let me skip that part.
Live
A
television.
few attempts for normalcy and blah, blah, blah. Handful of owners. Get to the good
There's
part.
a lot of blah,
Yeah.
blah.
Yes. I'm not seeing the good part where they decided they're officially going to be playing on Wednesday.
Well, while you look for that, it is interesting that they're making this announcement because it was such a big deal
Right.
just yesterday, 2 days ago, when they said they were suspending all the games and it was in indefinite suspension. So
It's going to be interesting to see how they arrived at let's start on Wednesday
I'm
when they
saying.
said we're not even going to reconvene to talk about it for 30 days.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then we're going to talk to the disease and health, all these people, and see what they say before we reconvene. So
Yes.
what happened
So
that quickly?
apparently they just decided they met and said that they are going to bring the games back, but the majority of owners favored a plan temporarily removing fans from the games still.
Well,
so
yeah,
really
that
fans
makes
are not
sense.
going to be playing. There's not a lot of information about exactly why they decided this, but they had a conference call, I guess, at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Yes, sir.
This
Today.
has to be a
Yesterday.
money. This has to be a money decision.
You think
It
so?
has to
Oh,
be
this-
because
yeah,
it's
this was
too.
yesterday
It's too
afternoon.
quick. There's no way we've gone from. We have cities closing down.
Yeah.
We have churches. You can't go to funerals in Italy. You know what I mean? It's too quick to go from awful panic to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not enough time. And that's not enough time to get everybody
Right.
tested. Because I just saw a report yesterday that the Knicks weren't even tested. And they were one of the 5 teams named
Right.
that were in contact with the Jazz.
It's got to be a money. And I'm still, and I know I'm probably gonna get shade for this. I still think it's funny how we know for sure that there's players that have it,
That's
but
what I'm
we're
saying.
still gonna keep the fans out. I mean, what's the plan?
That's, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean,
I don't know. This is very inconsistent. So give
Right.
me a minute.
So we'll
It-
just keep checking back
Yeah.
on that one
Yeah.
because it's too quick.
Spam
it's
emoji.
it
just
may
like a
just
video.
be
Chat's not buying it.
speculation and conjecture
No,
right
you
now.
guys
This
aren't
is
buying
on
it?
ESPN.
No,
Oh,
Chad
it's
is
on
not buying it. There's a
ESPN.
bunch of caps. And I'm talking about the emojis. Caps everywhere. They're talking about spam the caps.
Wait, I don't understand the caps.
Oh, it's basically they're not buying it, Devin. They're not buying it. They
Oh,
don't think it's-
I thought it was
Look,
because
they're
you weren't
coming.
wearing a hat today.
Oh God, this is the cutest thing ever.
I'm sorry. I've never heard of the cap being used as a...
This is so funny.
You guys, this is
adorable.
proof that this is all
That's
live.
adorable.
This is great.
Yes.
I mean, I've seen a lot of slang in this
Dang.
chat that I a lot of the times don't understand.
OP.
OP. Someone said OP in there. But yeah, so back to just this NBA. Until we get more details, Britt got a notification that says they're bringing games back on Wednesday. Seems a little bit interesting.
Premature.
Considering the incubation period for the coronavirus, if that's what they're worried about, is up to 2 or 3 weeks, right?
I thought it was 7 to 14 days, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
so
7 to 14. Yes,
days,
yes.
and we're technically, from them stopping the games, we're not even what? How many days is it? Like 6 days? When did they stop it officially? On
3 days.
Yeah, it's only been 3. I'm about to say it hasn't even been
Yeah,
that
it was
long.
on Monday.
Oh yeah,
or
it was
Sunday.
On Monday. I thought it was on Sunday.
Sunday. So, well, I mean, it's still not.
Still not enough.
Especially if all the players haven't even been tested yet. So,
And I'm still not sure that Steph doesn't have it. I know y'all trying to say he
they
doesn't, but
said he
somebody
didn't, but
lying.
right,
Somebody
man.
is lying.
oh yeah, why don't you guys fill us in? Except
I'm
Britt, I
looking.
know yours is always a surprise at the end, but fill us in on what you plan on talking about for the post-up and WTF moments, just so we can give everyone a quick rundown.
Well, we're obviously the players aren't playing, so LeBron James was at home doing things and remembering and having a good time looking at the
Beautiful
past.
days
We'll talk
past.
about that later. Yes. Oh, speaking of Steph Curry, Aisha. She tried to comment on what was going on with Steph. We'll talk about that later. Donovan Mitchell had a little bit of irony. There's a video that went viral yesterday. I don't know if I could say something's going viral anymore, but there's a video that was mass spread. Can't say it either. There's a video out of Donovan Mitchell doing the thing. We'll talk about that later. And Aaron Donald is strong.
Real strong.
Yeah.
Should we jump into the news?
Let's jump into
Hold
it.
on again. So I'm not sure because now I don't see it on. But you literally saw it. You were reading it with.
Yeah,
me.
it was
It literally
ESPN.
said from ESPN that they posted it, but now I'm looking on ESPN. It's gone. So I don't know if somebody just got Twitter fingers and got really excited.
Really
One
excited.
reporter got it.
Everybody
But,
wanted it first.
we will keep watching and keep you guys informed of what's going on. We don't know, but that was from ESPN. So,
Right.
all
right.
right, we'll see.
Crazy. Okay, well, let's jump in with Rudy Gobert. So yesterday we told you guys that Rudy was tested for coronavirus. It came back positive. And then after that, we saw all these videos surfacing of him touching all the microphones during the media interviews. And he got a lot of negative attention for that. The backlash for that was extremely major. He released an apology. It's also possible that he infected Donovan Mitchell. I don't want to say that.
Yeah, don't say it like that. That sounds weird.
Yeah, okay. But he could have, I mean, Donovan Mitchell also has coronavirus, so it could have been spread because of carelessness. We don't really know. There were questions afterwards if Rudy would be fined or suspended for his actions, and he's not, which is,
Right.
I think, a good thing. I think that he is suffering enough from this positive test result. I think that the embarrassment of the negative attention is probably enough.
Yeah.
So for him to be banned or
And that's
fined.
the thing, because we were but we were all thinking, by what Donovan Mitchell posted on IG that, he was casting just a little bit of shade towards Rudy Gobert, but then Woj and Shams and everybody coming out saying that, yeah, the Jazz are very upset with Rudy Gobert, and it seems that players on the team are upset with him too because of the carelessness and stuff like that. So they're thinking that he's going to have some friendships to mend or some,
The funny thing about this is, to me, is like, okay, yeah, we saw him being a little reckless and joking about the whole situation, but at the end of the day, they tested him first.
Yeah.
We don't know for sure that it wasn't vice versa.
And that's actually a good
literally
point.
could be vice versa, and he's
Because
just getting the flag.
You're right, because
he was tested
Mitchell
first.
because Mitchell had no symptoms and he was
Right.
just carrying it.
He
You
was
never
like,
know
what
if that
you
carried
mean?
over.
I
Yeah.
got, so
Yeah,
I
that's
think
very
it's one
true.
of those things where, again,
That's
because
very
we
true.
don't know enough about this virus, we can just do conjecture all day long and say,
Right.
oh, you were acting reckless, so it's your fault. And it
Yeah.
might actually be your fault, Donovan. I'm just saying.
That's a good point. I wasn't thinking that actually. So that is a good point. So we're all on the same page that it's good he's not being fined or suspended.
Yeah, but he's still got things to worry about. I mean, he's going through, unfortunately, a punishment enough right now, that being that, he's probably the guy that everybody's pointing at in the NBA when it comes to the coronavirus and why things got suspended and whatnot. And like I said, the thing with the teammates and everything like that, I feel like that's punishment enough. You don't need to take
Mark
nothing
Cuban
out of
has
his
to take
pockets.
a little bit of responsibility for his game being canceled because nobody on the floor knew until he went up and was like,
Man.
did you see this?
And the reaction, whoa! Hey, man, go show this to the refs. Go show the refs this. Look.
Brian, the guy took his phone
Yeah,
out of
ran
his
over
hand
to
like,
the
let me
refs.
walk over
Yeah.
here. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel for Rudy. I actually posted on my Instagram yesterday. I was like, cut this man some slack. I mean, because I can't imagine.
They need a name, man. You know
they
that.
do. They always need somebody to have a scapegoat
Point
is
a finger,
necessary.
yeah.
So, and I get that Rudy is it, but I feel you, man.
Yeah, and well, clearly they can't find him because
No.
technically I'm not like a medical professional, but my best friend's mom is a nurse, and she said that's a HIPAA violation. So they
Right.
actually aren't supposed to like put out that he
Yeah,
had
that
that,
there
but
was-
obviously everyone comes out with it. Obviously he's the one that's not playing and he's not there. So technically the league can't do anything because if they were to take action on him, he could take action right back and say, you're
Right.
not supposed to release my medical information.
Right.
So
Boom.
boom.
Shakalaka.
And,
So, boom.
but I do feel like everyone needs to step back because I did agree with you. Who knows if he had it first or Donovan
Yeah, I
had it
didn't think
first,
about that.
or
That makes
another
sense.
player that we have not even tested
Right.
yet gave it to one of
And,
them.
and that's the thing. Not everyone's symptomatic. And like Britt said yesterday, a lot of people, they were like, do you have a fever? You know, what are you doing? Let's just send you home without them actually getting tested.
Without
Yeah.
So
Right.
unless
Yep.
you've tested every single person in that locker room, and I mean every single person, like who cleaned it first? Who cleaned the locker rooms before you came in? Because it's transmitted
Well,
that
the
way.
Jazz are the only
Yeah.
ones that
So-
complete that. They tested everybody working and stuff
But
like
they
that.
also, so my friend is actually the sports reporter, team reporter for the Utah Jazz. So she was telling me a little bit about how that process had went down or whatever. And one of the things, they actually got a letter after the fact saying, yes, you know, because she obviously was one of the 56 people that
Yeah.
tested negative for it. So
Good
she,
for
they are still on a waiting period because it could have not shown up in her just yet
Gotcha.
because they said it's 5 to 14 days where you could have like come in contact with it, but nothing would show up. Same with if you got an HIV test or whatever. Same
Right.
thing with
Right.
anything. Like it's not doesn't mean that you don't have it and you're not going to get it. So they have to do a self quarantine themselves still for 14 days, even though they tested negative for it. So they also did say like it's not a spot where your family and friends can't come visit you and see you. Like, don't be that crazy about it, but do take extra precaution and try to stay away from people if possible.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. It sounds like social distancing is something that a lot of people are practicing right now, even non-athletes. You know, these people aren't going to restaurants or movies. I know you said you're going to the movies
Jackie
this
will
weekend,
be
but
there.
The only reason I'm going is because, for one, I hate when them kids be kicking the back of my chair, and I feel like I'm going to get a kid-free movie. So I'm going to the movie.
yeah, girl.
I already seen the movie you want to see, though.
Oh, really?
And I saw the other one you wanted to
see.
see.
The other one?
Wait, no.
Okay, well, we'll find one we
We'll
want to see
find a
together.
little, yeah.
Okay, as much as I love talking about movies, let's move into the Phoenix Suns.
No,
so,
those thieves, man. Sorry.
what was that, Chris?
The Suns are thieves, but go ahead. Do your part, Devin.
Okay, well, if you're a Suns fan, you're not going to entirely miss out on seeing your team play, at least, you know, until they come back. They're going to simulate and stream all of their games on NBA 2K while the games are suspended. They're playing today against the Dallas Mavericks, and they're going to be live streaming the whole thing on their Twitch channel, so you can tune in. There's no word yet on who the Suns will be playing or whether the other team is going to be AI or other players. I don't really know how NBA 2K really even works, so Chris, you probably have a lot more to say.
You're on. No, you were doing perfect.
Okay, great. Just making sure. I don't play video games. Devin Booker streams on Twitch regularly. We talked about this earlier this week when he actually found out about the suspension of the league games while he was live streaming, and he just still kept playing but was like shocked and
he stayed down, though.
yeah,
He
he was
wasn't
staying
shooting
down.
anymore.
Yeah, it was a really good multitasking
Yeah.
moment for him. What I was thinking is hopefully they can win more games on NBA 2K than they do
That's
in
going
real
to be the
life.
only place they win.
Yeah.
more
And
games.
that's the thing, man. They will.
Unfortunately.
Their team in 2K is actually solid because it's Devin Booker. Man,
His
look.
stats are good, but they just don't transition in
Right,
onto
real
the
life.
actual
Right,
court.
exactly. That's the thing. No,
I
man,
could be a sniper on video.
I'm
games.
hot with the Suns, man. When I saw this, I was upset because I literally streamed the day that this news came out, and I had said in my stream, I'm like, what about if I stream the rest of the Knicks? Because I got the Knicks schedule in my house. I'm like, what if I stream the Knicks games when they're supposed to be scheduled on here? I'm like, yeah, yo, you should do that. Da, 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 da. And then the Suns got the nerve to come out with this news. Now they're gonna try to take it because I'm nobody
So you
knows
started
shit.
it first?
Yeah, and I'm upset.
Give this
One of
man
them
his
little
credit.
yeah,
Give
man,
this
one of those
man
little
his
spies
credit.
went over to Steve Carter and said, hey man, yeah, one of those little spies like, hey man, guess what?
That's
bro?
why you can't just put it out there. You
You're
got to
right,
do it.
you're right.
It's
I
your
just got-
own fault.
Hey, what do we say? Say less. Say less.
That's been the thing this whole week,
You're right.
Chris.
Yeah, man.
Well, so are you guys going to be tuning into the Suns?
Absolutely not. Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Is this a silly idea?
No.
Is it a good idea?
It's a fun
It's
idea.
an occupy your time idea.
Yeah,
and if,
yeah.
you know, and that's the thing. I think true sports fans right now are kind of looking at each other like,
What
so
do we do? Twiddling
where
our
do we
thumbs.
go?
Yeah.
You know, so I get it. Anything you can watch is
That's what
gonna
I'm
be
saying.
fun.
Yeah.
But
It doesn't hurt, doesn't take
but
away
yeah.
from it. Yeah, like I'm sure there's gonna be young Suns fans that are gonna watch it because, like you said, Devin Booker streams, so you got a lot of Suns fans already that watch him stream. So yeah, they'll probably be curious and they'll all talk smack on the Suns while they're watching live stream together. So
I do want to see those fans though that see them do something virally that they can't do on the floor and be like, "What happened, man?"
Yeah.
I want to see those because you know they out there.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of an interesting way to fill fans'
Yeah.
time. I guess for me personally, I wouldn't be tuning in to watch the Lakers on NBA 2K
What?
live
I
stream.
mean, if I wouldn't either. But if LeBron was playing
playing
in the
the
game,
you wouldn't watch
then
that.
I
You wouldn't want to
would.
watch
I
that.
wouldn't.
He's trash.
You don't know how far my
You're
LeBron
right. You're
fandom
so right.
goes. You have no idea.
You are so right. I apologize. I keep questioning you, Jack. I apologize.
I do have to admit, Jackie would go a lot further
I-
than I would for LeBron.
There
You're
you go.
so
But
right. I apologize.
I love him. Still not going to sit there and watch a simulation game. I don't know. It's just not my thing. I'd rather go to a real
I
game.
just think it's so weird that people watch other people play video games.
I don't know how to play
If you
video
play
games,
video
so.
games yourself, like cool, that's what you do. But like watching other people play video games is kind of weird. I think it's great
Now
that the
replace
players
that
are
everything you
helping.
just said. Replace that with sports.
Right.
I can't believe I
No.
watch other people play sports. Because
Right.
why don't
That's
you just go out and
different.
play sports?
Is it? Because I can't
is.
play sports
Same.
like they can play sports.
And
but I
people
can
can't
still
play video games.
games.
You can't play
Exactly.
video games like people play
I'm
video
sorry,
games.
no one could get me at Super Mario World, okay?
There's professionals that could probably get you a
No,
Super Mario World.
I could
Like,
probably be a
look,
professional.
nobody can hit a
If I
three
was
like I can
playing
hit a
with
three, except for everybody
All I
in the
know is when
NBA.
I play, my guy just keeps like walking in one spot. Like I can never get my guy to move right.
Yeah.
He's just like-
There you go.
It's weird.
So Devin Booker was doing a lot of work without even paying attention. He was like, "How you doing that?"
That is amazing.
Britt, I feel the same way as you. I would watch a live sporting game because it's like real life talent
It's
right in front of
real
you.
people,
Yeah, real
first of all.
people.
Man,
Yeah.
there is some thumb talent in those video
I'm
games.
saying,
Listen,
man,
I'm
y'all
not
I
trying to
don't
down
know
play.
how good your
disrespectful.
hand game is. I really don't care.
And I'm not going to deny that people have good thumb game. I
Right?
just don't know that I'm not that interested. Anyway, let's move on. The NBA released new rules for athletes. So they're enforcing new policies for players in the wake of the coronavirus outbreak. They informed all 30 teams yesterday and said that they are effective immediately through March 16th. Some of the policies are: all players must remain in the market of the team, players remain home as long as possible, no group workouts or practices, team physicians and trainers must speak to each player once a day. So I was curious why it was only this 3-day period where these new policies are being enforced. Why March 16th when, again, like we mentioned earlier, the incubation period can be anywhere from 2 to 14 days as far as we know. So where does this March 16th date come from? And I guess I just wonder the motivation behind it. Do you guys have any thoughts?
I mean, it kind of makes sense if there's any relevance to that ESPN post we got a little while ago because then they want to reevaluate if they're checking in with the players every day. Has anything changed? Do we have any new diagnosis?
Right.
And if not, then maybe we can just move forward with the 16th start date. So it kind of makes sense in that aspect, but I still think it's too quick.
Man,
I think
way
it's too
fast.
quick
Just wait till
too.
the end of the month, man. It's not
Right,
gonna hurt
at
nothing.
least.
We're seeing most businesses, most events, most gatherings being postponed for at least 2 weeks. That's how long
And
schools
we got a
are
date
being.
for the Premier League. They're saying that they're doing it. Was it in April, mid-April?
Mid-April,
So it's
yep.
like
Yeah.
to me, even then, I thought that was a bit soon. But at least it's not next week. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So
And at least they didn't already have an outbreak. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
That's
like the NBA
true, too.
has players that have tested positive. So.
well, they had a dude in the Premier League that did get.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
one guy,
yes, yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And the
Chelsea,
runner,
Chelsea.
too.
Right.
Yes.
Wasn't there a coach or no? I thought it was a coach too.
I don't know about
Not in
that.
the Premier-
I
not in the
just know
Premier
it
League,
was
no,
the
it was not
reporter,
in the
and
Premier
it
League.
was that, yeah.
Yeah.
It was two soccer players, right?
Mm-hmm.
Football players.
Football.
Football.
There's a difference. They would get mad.
I know. I never know what to say. Anyway, so what do you guys think will be happening? Let's just say that this news about the NBA restarting games on Wednesday is not actually happening. What do you think is going to happen starting March 16th?
I almost think they give the players a mini off season. So let the players at that point, if they want to travel or take any vacation, because if they are expected expecting to have an extended time where they're not playing games and they have to start the season later, then their next off-season is going to be really short. So maybe they reevaluate if we give the players a little break to be able to do whatever they need to do.
I would be nervous to not maintain my normal my game regular season regimen. I would be a little nervous.
Nervous in what way?
Because if I'm becoming relaxed, and I'm like vacationing and I'm chilling and I'm not staying up to game speed, I just would be a little nervous if I'm, on an island holding Aisha, and not doing anything else.
You just did that during, all the players do that during All-Star break, though. If you're not going to All-Star break,
that's a week, though. If this ends up being a 30 to 45 to even 60-day thing.
Yeah, but who knows how long they give it to them. Maybe it's just the 2-week break, and then you guys come back. We have 2 more weeks where we're just kind of gearing back up.
Something like that, like this is what we're thinking, then you can plan.
And they're aware.
Right. If they say we don't really know, then I'd be a little
I think on Monday
leery.
they'll set
and I feel like the players will be aware.
Say you guys have 2 weeks free or something.
Yeah, because even like you said in All-Star break, and even if it is extended, they're aware that they're enjoying their time off, but they're always going with their trainers. Their trainers are always with them. They're always working on their games. So I feel like even because they'll know that when they come back, playoffs are right on the corner. So I'm sure all their minds will. They want to take some time with the family, but all their minds will be like, yo, we're gonna be right into the playoffs right after this is over.
Honestly, I feel like off season is when the players actually work the hardest.
Yeah,
all the players
100%.
I know are like doing 2-a-days on their own with their trainers and stuff. So off season is never
maybe
really.
That's just my Laker fan. We too inconsistent. Y'all need to stay on the ball.
I'm about to say because you got some boys that Kyle Kuzma, Kyle Kuzma.
You got a lot of things he likes to circulate.
Avery, look, you real good sometimes, and sometimes you are missing.
We gonna be seeing Kyle Kuzma.
Stay on that damn regimen.
We gonna see him on Instagram with some other childhood celebrities that were like, oh shit, look at him.
You gonna come back with purple hair like I haven't lived my best life.
That's
like,
so
no.
true.
No more hair colors, Kyle.
Okay, I want to get into Kevin Love because he actually did something really awesome. Makes me like him even more. He donated $100,000 to his foundation to help arena workers and support employees who might be out of work, which is just so great. He said, I hope that during this time of crisis, others will join me in supporting our communities. Pandemics are not just a medical phenomenon. They affect individuals and society on so many levels, with stigma and xenophobia being just 2 aspects of the impact of a pandemic outbreak. It's important to know that those with mental illness may be vulnerable to the effects of widespread panic and threat. Be kind to one another. So that was just a portion of what he said. And I just think it's a great message. He's been really open about his mental health in the past, so this is extremely personal to him. The Cavs are also continuing to pay employees at the arenas as if games are still being played. So
shout out to Dan
such
Gilbert,
a great
man.
move.
I give Dan Gilbert so much crap, but that's a big move for him.
It's such a great move. And we had Mark Cuban do something. The same thing.
He's done it for a month, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, he's doing it for the first 4 games, and then they're going to reevaluate. But this is great. I love it. However, I do think it's not the players' responsibilities because Kevin Love also did say he hopes more players come up and follow his suit and help their teams out. But really, the teams make enough money to do that themselves. It shouldn't be on the players' shoulders to do that. So that was the only issue I had with that is don't put it on the players to do that. The teams can afford to be able to pay the players. And Mark Cuban obviously was the first one that came out and said what he was going to do, and Cavs to follow. So, Joe Lacob, we still waiting for you, boy.
I'm saying, all that money you bragging about.
Got a lot of. Couldn't even count how many dollars he was bringing in. So,
bands on bands.
I know. If anyone should be doing that, it's definitely Lacob.
And I think that's really important because sometimes we do forget about the little guy. I saw something on Google the other day that said that Congress is getting involved in trying to make it so that companies do not have to honor paid leave because people have the coronavirus. And I'm like, there are literally people that can't make it if they're working 2, 3, 4 jobs. Just to make
it's expensive.
Like you probably got 3 jobs and 5 roommates just to make it out here sometimes. So I get it, and I just really feel like. Even if and I agree with you, like the people that make the most money should make the most effort. But if they don't, I still think the message is clear. We got to look out for each other. So I think that's an important message. Well done, Kevin Love.
Yes, well done, Kevin Love. I feel like there will be a lot of other players who follow suit. I could see LeBron doing something like this, couldn't you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Who else do you feel like might come forward and say, like, here's a chunk of money to help out?
I can tell you who won't. Anybody that wears New York Knicks jersey, I can tell you that. Because if it ain't going to be, look, and I know it ain't going to come from James Dolan first.
Kevin Knox is gonna
with what money? This is his second year in the league. Kevin, save your money, Kevin. No. But
what happens Spike Lee will come out and be like, since I know nobody over there gives a damn, I'm going to do it myself.
Look, that would be a power move, man. I've said my piece on Spike Lee, but if he did that,
his courtside, what he would have paid for his courtside for the year.
That would be a power move if he did
$300,000
that.
he pays a year for courtside.
I gave Spike some crap, but if he did that, I'd be like, yo.
Oh, don't be
James
back
Dolan.
for...
That I would for that, but yo, man. But that's I think like LeBron James.
Damian Lillard, I think, is
Yes,
the guy that
that's
would
the name,
most definitely do it.
Yeah.
James Harden is actually, people don't know this, but he's a very giving guy. He has a lot of charity stuff that he does that he just doesn't talk about.
Yeah.
But James Harden, I think, would do something like that, as well as Chris Paul. I know Chris Paul would
But
do
like
something
you said,
like
hopefully none of these players have to do that, and it's the owners that are stepping in and doing that.
Like, I'm not putting pressure, and I don't want the players to feel any pressure to do that. They already have tons of family members. They also have to take care of who are out of work right now as well. So
Yes.
And maybe even some side chicks. We don't know.
We
don't know. Some of these side chicks might be at home right now. You know, you gotta look out. Otherwise, they're gonna start talking.
The Fumble. Wait, whoever is running the Fumble chat.
Tiger Woods, okay?
Whoever is running the Fumble chat right now said Harden is always helping out the strippers.
Hey,
I don't know who did that.
Look, man, you guys just hung up for a reason, yo.
Moms need love too, okay?
That's true.
God.
Who knows? People are in stripping because they're paying for college. I had a friend actually that was a stripper, and she actually was getting her doctorate while she was stripping. So she could then turn around and save your life. So.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Drop it low and save you at the
Right,
same time.
at the
That
same
is what's
damn
up.
Someone in the chat said Kevin Love, just to go back to him, is a real hero. Hopefully he'll inspire other players to give back in the same way. I just want to shout out some of you guys because I know you chime into the chat quite often and want to make sure we give you the response. Let's see. Someone said Harden won't get corona because he doesn't want to get called for a foul. Okay, that was not a worthwhile comment.
You tried it. You tried it.
Nice try, though.
Say less.
Okay, so let's get into our next segment.
Oh,
Chris.
yes. Time for Post Up with your boy, Chris. What's going on, everybody? All right, so yeah, like we know, coronavirus has got no sports on TV. Can we give us a few seconds for that? It's been
Moment
rough,
of
man.
silence.
Just a moment of silence. We on day 3 now?
Yeah.
But Jackie's
day.
going to be, you see how she was smiling through her moment of silence? Because this next one is about LeBron James, what he was doing during his time off
Is that okay?
yesterday.
No
Yeah,
LeBron
go ahead.
dance.
No, go ahead. Get
I got LeBron
Like,
dance.
Okay, I'll join
I
you.
got LeBron dance.
Well, he was watching old highlights of him on Miami with his partner in crime, Dwyane Wade, along with his son, teaching the youngin' some of the, well, he's not teaching them anything. He's just watching, alley-oops. I mean, not much to an alley-oop when you're 2 all-stars. But I got to admit, watching those things brought back some nostalgia because, like, that felt like so long ago.
So beautiful. So beautiful.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And at the end, I'm trying to wait for it. I don't want to cut him off because, LeBron's over there saying this thing. But, Jackie, so I gotta bring it back. So before I move on, you're the bronzexual, as you can see by the cup. So you mean to tell me you were there with them with Miami? You were there with them for Cleveland twice?
I'm telling you, I have Miami gear.
You have jerseys?
I have jerseys from each team.
She goes where
I know
LeBron
where he
goes.
goes.
I've seen this. So you just like the what's the word, like LeBron James has taken his talents to Los Angeles.
If there was in the royal court, I would be that guy. All hail King James.
Oh,
Was there ever a
my
moment you
God.
wanted him to stay somewhere and you were slightly upset that he left?
Ooh,
I was slightly upset that he left Cleveland.
That's a good question. Okay.
Just
The
because
first time?
Or the
No,
second
the first time I was like, let's go.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I'm gonna come over and help you pack. Let's get out.
my
But the
God.
second time there was the team, the camaraderie, and I just felt like, okay, this is dope. You
The David
left, you
Griffin
came
era.
back,
Yeah.
and then by that time it was about my pocketbook a little bit because I had so much Cavs stuff, and I was like, damn, I got to do this all over. This is expensive, you know what I mean?
Stop changing teams.
And then there was a certain amount of me that didn't want him to come to LA because being from Denver, LA was a soft spot for me. You know what I mean? But at the same time, all of my closest
You threw that
friends
away
are-
instantly. You're
Oh
like,
yeah, so and the funny thing is, like
Okay,
on my
not a problem.
podcast, I was like, he ain't going to LA. He better not go to LA. He wouldn't do that to me. And then he went to LA. I'm
And
like,
he did.
hey,
Let's
LA,
get it.
how you doing? It's so good to be
all right.
here.
Now I have to ask the real question before I move on to the second one. Say he came to my Knicks.
I would throw up a lot. and more.
And then come in
and
with
then
the
I
Knicks
would, and then I would come.
And then
with
you
the
come
Knicks
and be like, my guy, Chris, my guy.
I'm like, the Knicks
Whatever.
is a strong
Whatever.
franchise. They need him.
Whatever. No, I heard how you talked about Lonzo Ball last season. You would not. You'd be like, trade everybody.
I would.
Trade James Bond. Anyways, we're moving on to someone else we were talking about earlier, Steph Curry. Well, it's mainly Aisha Curry's wife, but Steph Curry was the topic of conversation during Aisha Curry's live stream on IG because everybody is so curious to know how he's doing because he was tested, it's last weekend now because he was supposed to play, but he ended up having flu-like symptoms and didn't play in the game. And everybody went, Corona? But it ended up he didn't have the coronavirus. But
that's what they said.
that was my Scooby-Doo impression.
That was really good.
And it turns out he tested out negative for that, but nobody is buying it. You heard Jackie start the show saying,
That's what they said. You know, he got it.
And
I don't think he has
We
it.
all talked about the stuff, storyline of he's supposed to be the good old boy
Yes.
in the
The
NBA.
good guy can't get it.
So
But-
he can't be the one that started it and
he's
gave
not
it to
supposed to.
everybody else.
Right? Could you
Right.
imagine?
That'd be his
can't be
brand
him.
would be like no.
Not
Okay,
Steph.
I disagree. I don't think that if he is the originator of the coronavirus spreading through the league, that anybody would look at him and think.
Why were the Golden State Warriors the first team to say they're not going to play with fans?
Right.
I think because they were getting more pressure from the city than anyone else.
I think it had to do with
Who
Steph
lives
Curry.
in the city?
I think that right.
These conspiracy theories.
I totally agree that I think, and here's the thing, it's because you already have this franchise that is not on the top of everyone's minds because they're not winning.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you still have Steph, who is the poster boy. You can't have the one ray
He
of
comes
hope
back,
for your
like,
team come
yeah.
back like, I had the virus. It's just a bad look. I'm telling you, they lying.
But
Nah,
again,
I
they don't
don't
have
know.
to announce
I think
that
we just-
he had it or
Right.
not. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to.
I think we
everybody
also
has
just
information.
forget how powerful the flu actually is, and we're seeing Steph Curry go through that right now. But at
Do
the
you
same time,
quarantine with the flu though?
man, you got quarantined with everything at this point. What you mean?
I know, that's true. You do.
You know what I'm saying? You
But
don't pass
also,
on.
we have to keep this in perspective that the biggest cause of these types of symptoms is the regular flu
Right.
and the regular cold.
Common
So I
cold.
know we're all very coronavirus focused right now.
Yes.
I personally just don't think there would be any shame in coming forward and saying, hey guys, I have coronavirus too, because we saw Rudy do it. We have Donovan Mitchell
he
do
doesn't.
it.
Rudy didn't do it.
Steph
Rudy didn't do it.
Curry
Rudy was forced.
little
Yeah,
different.
Rudy was
But he
forced.
doesn't have it. It's just the way Aisha was trying to calm
Steph
us down
Curry's
wasn't
a
great.
little different. I don't know.
So you think
Look,
you guys are
Steph-
buying
I
the
don't know
conspiracy?
if he has it or not. I
don't know. I
literally
think so.
don't care. But
Right.
if he does have it, he's not going to say that he has it. I just know
Exactly.
that much.
Yeah, facts.
But
I-
Devin
He
says
wasn't
if
going to
you
be
do,
the first
okay.
person to say it, at least.
It's just Aisha wasn't doing too great at trying to, cover him up.
I thought
That's
she
where
was
it got
fine.
suspicious. She was like, he's Steph. He's
See, what had
he's
happened
on
was.
FaceTime. But it's all right.
I did not. This is the first time that I'm like, you guys.
No,
I don't
I'm with
even-
you. I don't know. Trust me. I don't think it's that at all. But I do understand why people would think, she's flubbing. This not real. Da, 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 da.
I
No,
think
whatever.
maybe if Aisha hadn't said anything, then I could have maybe said, but she's like, no, cause see,
Yeah,
so,
it wasn't
Yeah.
great.
so
It wasn't
listen,
great.
that's
Yeah.
how
It
wasn't
people
great.
talk when they're about
That's
to tell a
when
big
you're
lie.
guilty.
Great.
Yeah.
It was not great.
I don't know.
Speaking of the coronavirus, moving on to someone who actually did get tested positive for it, and that's Donovan Mitchell. And a video went up of pre-game to the game that actually got canceled against the Oklahoma City Thunder, where a fan was trying, because normally Donovan Mitchell passes the ball to a fan, he'll pass it back, he'll shoot it, but he couldn't do it this game, and he told the fan straight up, I'm not sure if you should be touching the ball because you might have it, but listen to him say it right here. Here's the clip. Here's the video. There it is. And just like that, it's over. Just this way. But yeah, basically the kid, because, that's normally his thing, and the kid was so ready, he was right there, and, the dad was there filming, but he couldn't do it. And then it turned out irony, and we found out Mr. Mitchell had it, so.
Yeah.
Right, 100%. It just
Could you
comes back to
imagine
the
that kid's
him.
family?
But I just don't like the way he worded, you might have it, it's just say we.
The kids are usually okay,
The-
though.
yeah,
Like,
right.
The kids
Yeah.
have no worries.
Yeah.
But I feel that's good though, because if I was his parents and he had passed him the ball, right now I'm like, oh
Nah,
my
I would have
God.
smacked that thing. Donovan, come on, man.
Dad wanted it, though. The dad's like, please,
Yeah,
come on,
because those
touch the
kids,
ball.
man, they want to be on Bleach Report so bad. All those parents.
That's so funny.
And moving on to my last thing, NFL, they're still trying to figure out what they're going to do. And I'll tell you one person who's not scared at all of what's going on, and that is the gorilla himself, Aaron Donald, because he is in the gym working. Look at him. I don't know how heavy those things are, but I'll tell you what, those things are weighted. And he's moving those things like regular basketballs. Look at him.
That's the thing.
Those are
about
like
it.
beach balls the way he's
like
tossing those things, man.
Insane.
This
Yeah.
makes me tired watching it.
That's why he's
That's
the
the
best
emotion you get
defender
watching
Look
that.
at him.
Yes.
Tiredness.
Can you?
in
Yes.
NFL.
Not even sweating like that's crazy. Yeah, man, Aaron Donald.
Again, this is off season. I told you guys they
That's when
work
the work
harder
goes in.
during the off season.
Yeah.
I know everybody that's gonna be opposite him right now is watching that video like, ah, damn.
I know. He's really
right.
putting in the
It's
effort.
like, yo, bro, take a break, man. You don't see what's going on.
Every quarterback in the league right now is just
Like, eat some,
I
eat
gotta
some
get
fruity
sacked by
pebbles.
that guy.
You guys, I'm curious. So with gyms, like,
Yeah.
are you
Don't
guys
go.
working out, going to the
Go.
gym?
You act like I was working out before
out
the
YouTube
coronavirus. You think I'm gonna work out now? Wait a
Okay,
minute.
well,
No.
I guess, would you go to the gym then?
Not now. No, now I got a real legit excuse. I can't work out.
Bruh.
It's the virus.
Ah, man, I just started a new membership, but I can't
I
go
would
now.
join, but you
I
know,
can't go now.
safety first.
See, I've been debating it, now seeing this guy, like, throwing these
I'm saying.
balls like that and doing
Crazy.
crunches. Oof.
Yeah.
I'm, like, losing
I'll
muscle
start
mass
working
every
out.
second.
After the virus passes.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Could be 9 months.
Well, you know, I safety first.
You know what? Right. How about y'all, man? I trying to
I
spread
have
it.
to say this. No, I did this juice cleanse or whatever, and then yesterday
Yeah,
I
now
actually
you got-
went to the grocery store because I didn't have any food all week. So I'm like, I have to get groceries. I go to the grocery store. It's crazy. So then I start going crazy too. I fill up my cart with all the stuff that I shouldn't be eating because I just did a juice cleanse and I was trying to get in shape.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of processed food in there because I can't, get produce because it's going to go bad in 3 days. So
Yeah, no, my
Yeah,
friend
the
who's
pro-
vegan said that. She's like, I'm literally in the store realizing that if we do quarantine, I'm just gonna get diabetes because everything in here is like
Yeah, you
processed.
go.
and
Yeah,
like-
yeah.
And I was like, that is a terrible way to think. It's true though.
I
The stuff
know.
that's good
Or
for you. isn't-
frozen veggies, if there are any left at the grocery stores.
Yeah, I got whatever I could,
Yeah.
but still, I had to get some canned soups and
Get in
whatever
there
that
on
I
those-
don't
on
normally
that
get.
chili.
sodium.
Get on that chili.
Right. All right. So you ready for these WTF
Take it over. Yes,
moments?
yes.
WTF. So speaking of Dwyane Wade, my fandom bestie, I was really like, what the? Like, he had a gambling problem. It was bad. His financial advisor was like, yo, we need to talk about this. You doing the most. But then I find out it's not from like online gambling or maybe going to the casino. He's losing it to his teammates. Take a look at this clip really quick.
When you play sports, it's like a rite of passage that you have to play cards on the plane. It's kind of like a team thing. It's how we connect, how we bond. And I've lost a lot of money.
Look
on
at
the
my
plane
bestie.
Just trying to
Oh
beat
my
my
God.
teammates.
There's just no, I love y'all, but even if I did lose a bet where I lost $1,000, I'm gonna give y'all $1,000 of Monopoly money. I'm not giving you. I'm not giving you $1,000 of my dollars. Huh? Would you gamble with me on a plane? Would you, Chris?
Well, I gamble with you on the plane. What's the gamble?
All right, let's say we're playing poker like
Yeah.
it was.
I don't know, because that comes down to me, and I don't know if I trust myself
Okay,
on
so
poker.
what are you good at? Card
Anything
wise.
that's not poker. Yes, I'm not a card
Spades.
game guy. I'm not
I'll
a card
place
game guy.
anybody.
Hey,
in
goldfish.
Look,
Hey, let's get
here,
goldfish.
right
If we
now.
play spades, Devin's on your team.
Wait, I don't even know how to play
I
spades.
know.
No.
I don't know how to play any
No.
card games.
But Christmas time, my whole family got together. I am the spades champ. Beat my daddy, beat my
Yeah,
uncles.
see?
Yeah, you're not
I
supposed
am
to
the
say
spades
that, though.
champ.
Right, you
That
supposed
would
to act
be
like
nice.
you
I
know how
told
to play
everybody.
and then
Ooh.
bet
I am
up.
the champ.
You'll
All
get a
right,
phone
if you
call.
remember
You'll get a
it, we
phone
gonna
call.
have
Hey,
some problems.
they already know. They know.
I was really disappointed to see that he was losing money to teammates, but I was glad that he took this moment to share some of his
Yes.
health issues. He also said some of his bad decisions he made. He also bought a sky blue Escalade with spinners on it. That's a horrible decision. I was
Escalade. You know what's so funny? My mom had an Escalade growing up.
With
and
spinners?
No way, really? Did they
we
have
didn't
spinners?
we didn't have spinners. She had a
Oh.
big black Escalade, and the license plate was Desperate Housewife.
Lord Jesus. I don't even. That's a WTF moment right there.
I loved it.
Yes.
Okay, so we also know that the NCAA hit the panic button and they have canceled all leagues, but London said, okay, we're not going to do that. We're
Yeah,
just
man.
going to postpone some things. The English Premier League suspended all games until April 4th. The return is contingent on medical advice and conditions at the time. They did this because the first squad and coaching staff have been told to self-isolate after a player reported coronavirus symptoms. So I just don't understand. This is a WTF moment for me because Can we be the ones to do it the right way? Do we have to see somebody across the pond?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like we handled it wrong.
I just feel like even hopefully, like I hope that date, even though it's a set date, I hope it's still somewhat flexible.
Well, it is.
In case.
It's a pending medical advice or whatever.
Well, then I mean, hey man, like you.
But like
Shoot first.
That's where you just postpone because nobody knows what's going to happen. Postpone stuff, not cancel it.
But
NCAA.
that's what I'm saying. Like, can they say, hold on, we made a mistake?
No, they can't. Like,
No,
renege on it now.
on a cancellation.
When that's why I'm like, why did you guys cancel it? Just
Yeah.
I just feel so bad for
postpone,
these
suspend,
kids.
whatever.
Talk to people
like,
and then decide.
that was so silly.
Yeah,
But it is the NCAA.
March Madness went from like being so excited to everyone's excited about it to March Sadness. It's
Yeah,
like
that's the new
yeah,
name.
the new name.
It's crazy. All right, now it's time for.
Oh, wait, really quickly, I have a quick question for all you guys. Are you
Okay.
done? Wait, have you finished
I'm
WTF
done.
moments?
I'm WTF.
Okay,
done.
wait. So just before we dive into Brit's takes,
Yeah, because we got time today.
yeah, we do have some time today. So let's talk about what you guys plan on doing with all of these hiatuses happening. It's a hard word
I'm
to
gonna
say.
buy some more LeBron gear.
That's what you're gonna do? That's how you're gonna spend your time?
That's it, and my money
Hey,
too.
You're just
we're
gonna
gonna
be
be
like,
seeing
"Here you
your
go,
piece
LeBron."
like Dwyane Wade in a few years, man. Like, I had a problem. I bought bobbleheads on
Important one, Jackie.
Jackie.
I might
yes.
have done that on purpose.
Give us the
No,
WTF
come on,
moment.
again.
Please.
Yeah, I think she did.
No.
I think she did that
So
on purpose.
this
Go ahead.
Space okay.
No, talk
WTF,
about it.
Because I hate that I have to even talk about this.
Don't
But
read
the
it.
Space Jam conspiracy theory, Britt mentioned it yesterday. Do you still have it on your phone so we can? Do we have to read it again?
I don't have it on
Basically,
my phone. Devin should have it too.
Do you have it on your phone?
Oh, yes, I can probably pull it up.
Basically, the whole thing is saying that Space Jam called this whole coronavirus. It is a ploy to make us all go see the new Space Jam that we were going to see anyway. But apparently,
I mean, I remember all the stuff. So it was March 11th, 1997.
I don't have it anymore.
When it came out on VHS, and then we canceled on March 11th, 2020. Equals 23
They took the
years.
scene out of the movie that's very
Exactly,
familiar.
and that's Michael Jordan's number, and so it's a whole Space Jam thing. They took scenes out of the movie, and
What's the
I
problem?
would've- You know what? I would
What's
have
the
given y'all
problem?
credit if y'all had said, "Hey, remember that movie Contagion? This is just like that." But y'all said
That's too
Space
predictable.
But it
Jam.
doesn't have the
Jackie,
numbers that
That's too
line up.
predictable. Yeah, that's too predictable. Contagion makes too much sense.
Oh, so
Nah,
now I gotta-
you
You
gotta
gotta
do
go
math.
research,
Magical
do the
math.
numbers. 23. Oh, Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan has to be involved in
Yep.
anything that happens with the NBA. So
This is that new
this
math.
is a way to bring Michael Jordan to 2020
Yes.
coronavirus.
Or
okay?
even better,
though he stopped playing.
You think the league accidentally didn't let LeBron James change his number to number 6? They're like, no, hold on. We need you to keep that 23
You
for
on
another
this Space
season.
Jam?
I'm just
Boy,
saying.
If you don't stop,
I'm just saying. Look. Space Jam 2, ladies and gentlemen.
I feel like this whole Space Jam theory, I mean, it is interesting. It's funny to connect the dots, but I said this
There's no
yesterday.
dots.
It's kind
There's
it's
no
very
dots.
it's very
You're
loosely
missing the dots.
Okay, now you're tripping, Jackie.
If you connect them, you see Bugs Bunny. Like, well, you're not playing along. You're not following along. That's your problem. You're over there getting Daffy Duck. You got to follow along.
Right.
You see.
I agree. It's pretty loosely woven. It's like those YouTube videos that are like proof that Beyonce is part of the Illuminati.
Yeah,
Queen
100%
Bee,
accurate.
Illuminati. Like all of the it rhymes.
100% accurate. What you mean? You mean not everything on the internet's real? What you guys talking about?
I just
I
need somebody
believe
to tell me
everything
how
I
to
read.
get into the Illuminati. Once
Oh
I'm in,
my-
I will report back how it is.
Okay, can
It's not great in there, guys.
someone in the chat, please
funny.
tell us
Yeah,
how
let
to
me know how
get
to
in.
get in.
Jackie wants to volunteer as tribute
Right?
to the Illuminati.
Now we need things like that to,
Yeah,
you
that's
know.
how I'm going to spend my time off is, because I told you that she said she doesn't have enough LeBron gear. I told her if you go on to Amazon, you can get a whole bunch.
Yeah.
You
I'm
know,
gonna
that
do
has,
that
like-
too.
And they all
Devin.
have goats on them. You can get the ones with the goat.
Perfect.
Yeah,
I
make
need
sure
to get a
we
new
need to
mug
rearrange our
too.
seats. Jackie is a bad influence on poor Devin. Devin's gonna come over here. She's gonna have a headband.
The earrings.
Yeah,
I'm
oh,
excited
man.
about it.
You're gonna be decked out in purple and gold. It's gonna be
You're
great.
welcome.
Don't get the leggings.
I'm getting the leggings.
Or the patch
Brett.
on your head. Don't like keep your hair. Don't get the LeBron
Get a
patch.
LeBron patch
Look,
on
at
my
this
head.
point, I don't know, Jackie.
You're doing a
At this
lot.
point, I don't know. I'm a little worried.
Yeah, I am. You know?
I mean, maybe a temporary one.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
See?
Not safe.
Okay, Britt, what are you gonna do with no games to watch?
What have I mean, I don't know exactly, but I did announce yesterday This is a prediction. January 2021, a lot of babies will be born.
She did predict that.
Yes.
I thought you were saying that's
all
when the league
I'm
coming
saying.
back. Yeah, you did.
I
say
told
that.
Chris
I'm
some of
saying.
them are going to be named Corona, and
Yep.
I'll be real mad.
Please.
Middle name, first
No.
name, some of that.
Please,
Yeah, because
no.
people are crazy like that, man.
Please, I really hope that's not the case.
Me too, man.
Okay, Chris.
Especially with all these athletes just free to frolic around at the same time.
I
This
know.
is why we have separate seasons, so they're not all out at the same time for all these girls to attack. A lot of babies, a lot of women are gonna get some bags secured. as they say.
Maybe this.
Look, January, all we're going to be reporting about is alleged mistress says.
Yeah,
alleged
yeah.
mistress
So
says.
it's
Side
not gonna be a
chick.
baby mama.
Yeah. And maybe this is why the NBA enforced those new policies saying you guys have to stay home.
Yeah, right.
But just till March 16th,
Yeah.
everybody's gonna be waiting for that day.
Oh,
They need the
gosh.
side chick rules.
Please,
Side
no.
chick rules need to be in place.
No.
It needs to be in the contracts, yeah. We need to start that up. Put that in the new CBA. Figure that out.
Okay, Chris, so what are you going to do with no Knicks games to
I'm gonna
tune
watch.
into?
Well, like I always do, even when the Knicks play now, I'm gonna watch Knicks highlights when they were good,
Okay.
as well as play Knicks on 2K, and I'll make them good. So
How
I'll,
far back do you have to go?
hilarious. It's just the 90s, all right. Look, God, and not even then. 2013, okay. I miss you, Melo.
Oh, I think I'm probably just going to stay at home and eat. That's like all I'll do. Just going to make a bunch of food, try new recipes. If I can get my hands on any food,
Yeah.
that is. We'll see. Okay, why don't we get into some Brits
Take
Take?
it over.
Takes. I bet none of you guys are gonna guess what we're talking about today. The coronavirus yet
Wait.
again.
I'm shocked.
But this time, I have a confession to make. I'm upset at the way some of these leagues are just canceling.
Yeah.
Obviously, we just talked about the NCAA and what they're doing. Sports, I think, brings people together. It gives us hope. So when you hear something like that, like something's actually been canceled, like it's not postponed, it's not suspended, it's just canceled. It makes you really, really sad, especially these young players. I really feel for them. Obviously, I think we were all a little bit rooting for the Dayton Flyers, who have not broken the top five in like 67 years, like have not been in March Madness Final Four since 1967, okay? Like, these guys, I had them as, I don't know if you guys watched Bet on Brit, but a month ago I did a Bet on Brit, and I had them as a number one seeded team going into March Madness. Obviously, they're number 3 in the country. I can't even say currently because it's it. They just end the season as number 3 in the country, and it's so sad to see teams like this not get an opportunity to play because we're never going to know if we're going to get to see a team like this. A lot of the guys on that team are seniors. They're older guys, so we're not going to get to see this team again, and who knows if Dayton's ever going to be in this position in our lifetime again. I mean, last time, 1967, like that's crazy. So obviously a lot of coaches have came out. They're very upset that the NCAA yet again did the wrong thing. We were talking about it yesterday. Everyone was so mad that they hadn't decided to do anything yet and they were going to let the players still play. But then they just went all the way to the other side of the spectrum and just canceled the tournament, which I think was premature. It was silly to do. In a week, we could all be perfectly fine, and the coronavirus the numbers could be dropping on that, and then everyone else resumes their league, and then
they're done.
March Madness is just sitting here like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's why I really wish there was a way, and I know we're saying canceled is canceled, but I wish there was a way to be like, my bad. You know, we did this a little bit premature.
But of all leagues to do that, the NCAA,
Yeah,
being like, oh, they came out hella late, and then to be like, you know what, that's our fault. My bad.
And they did it because they were forced into it instead of saying, okay, let's make the best decision for these kids. But we don't know even say that. We don't even know what the best decision is right now, so we're going to hold off. We're going to suspend things until. But they just went, okay, fine, you guys are mad at us. We're done.
It's over.
Shut up.
Yeah.
No other league is doing that, canceling everything right together.
Another league that is decided to cancel is the PGA. They actually canceled the Players' Championship, which they already did the first round yesterday.
Yeah.
So they canceled that. And I don't understand it. Chris is laughing because he had the same sentiment that I have, which is it's golf.
Right.
It's not a contact sport. You don't have to play with anybody else. The only people that have to be there are you and your caddy, and then the camera people that are like shooting
10
it
feet
so all of
away.
us can watch it. Nobody else has to be there, and I get it. There are currently 144 guys that were playing in this PGA tournament, and they canceled from this one to the next 3 other tournaments, and then they just actually announced about an hour ago that they're postponing the Masters. The Masters happens in Augusta, Georgia, so they have about till May to safely have the Masters there when it's not too hot. But then after that, they're going to have to wait till the end of the summertime and do it again in the fall. So the Masters, them postponing theirs is a big push because they have to wait a while if they don't get it in before May. Yeah. So it's very interesting that they postponed that one but then canceled all the other ones. I was very confused on that, especially since they already did the first round yesterday. And especially considering you don't need to touch anybody.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so confused on that. And then another one, NBA 2K League actually decided that they are going to push theirs back to March 24th. I'm really confused on this one because I get they get together and play on a couch together or wherever they're playing at.
All right.
But you can play at home.
Yes, you're right. I'm not disagreeing with that.
It's a video game. So for them to postpone theirs, I think it was actually ridiculous. You can stream it.
Yeah, they're all streamers.
I'm just so confused why that was canceled. I think they went a little overboard on that because now we really don't have nothing to watch because the people that would watch the 2K stuff can't even watch that because now it's postponed to March 24th. The only group that I think is actually doing anything right, besides the NBA, obviously, it's going to be weird to say this, the NFL. So the NFL is going slowly. They're canceling stuff as they come about. So they just canceled their committee that they're supposed to meet to talk about the CBA and all of that kind of stuff. But everything else, they haven't touched it yet. They're currently still, as of right now, still having the draft, which is going to take place on April 25th. And they're just moving along. We're not going to say we're going to cancel anything. We're not going to postpone anything until we get to that time where we need to postpone it. They're keeping everything status quo, and I think that's a good decision to make because I think if the NFL starts getting to where they're pushing stuff back and trying to redo stuff, I think it's going to create big problems, especially with the CBA agreement, because players are going to be voting on that this weekend. I think it's going to almost influence the players negatively if they think something is crazy that's going to happen in the league and like, oh, you guys, we probably should sign this because we might really not get any money. So if they're like getting anxiety about that, they'd be more quickly to sign. So I think that they are just like leaving it as is the best thing for the players and the owners to make the right decision when they're signing the CBA.
What about
and not
free agency?
They had talked about postponing.
They're not touching free agency.
They had talked about postponing it, but apparently that was just a rumor. And I'm like, why would you postpone free agency?
You can do that over the phone. You can fax
email,
people their
text,
contracts.
But
they have not officially done anything in that capacity. There have been talks, obviously, because they want to be prepared for stuff. But this is the first time I've ever been said I'm impressed with what the NFL is doing.
Say his name.
No.
Say it.
Say his name.
No. Because I do have one more thing that I do need to mention.
She's like, nope, hold
on. We're talking about all of these sports right now that are happening and all of these leagues being canceled and postponed today and tomorrow and on Sunday. There are 2 cheerleading championships that are going on. 20,000 cheerleaders are coming in this one building to compete for national titles. 20,000. Family, friends, all included.
It's still going on?
I coached cheer for a bunch of years. I told you guys my little sisters last week just won dance nationals. This week it is cheerleading nationals. I've been around this for a long time. I know you are very in close counter with everybody. You have to catch people, throw people in the air, tumbling, all of that kind of stuff. And these cheerleaders are still competing. Today is the first day. It has not been canceled. Throughout the weekend, today is the Quest competition. Saturday and Sunday is UCA, and UCA is a huge national, like everybody who knows anything about cheer knows about UCA. And they are still having their competition this weekend. And I think that is absolutely insane that not only are they still able to do it, but nobody said anything about it.
Do you think it's because they don't, and I don't trust me because I was a cheerleader for like half a second, and I was just too tall. So, but whatever. So
you would be a great back spot.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Which is what I was, and I did not like that. But
that's what we need.
You're too busy being an enforcer in basketball. No, you had a better career.
I can't even elbow.
Yeah, right.
I would have flown if you were my back spot. I hated flying. If you were there,
I loved it. I've dislocated shoulders, bloody noses,
I did tumbling. That was enough for me. Enough thrill and terror.
But do you think it's because? So I guess it's a 2-part question. Do you think it's because of the lack of respect that women still get in sports, or do you think it's because cheerleading is still not seen as a
I think
sport
it's the
yet.
combination of both.
I
But
think so too.
hello, haven't most states at this point said if you are in an area, we can't have more than 1,000? Disneyland
Right.
was canceled. So how is Disneyland canceled, but you can still have a
Right.
cheer competition that has 20,000 people coming in and out throughout a weekend?
Right.
Yeah.
That's
That
what I'm
is
saying.
crazy.
Like,
I
what's
just
the
don't get-
mindset there?
It's weird. I feel like it is that people don't take cheerleading seriously as
that's
a
what it
sport,
is,
even though it is it's a huge sport. I mean, having done it, we both know so much athleticism is required to be able to do it well. But also because it is a predominantly female sport, I can
Yeah,
see
that's
why.
what I'm wondering.
But that should have nothing to do with the coronavirus
Yeah,
because
with
all
the-
events have been canceled that have
Right.
a large group of people. I don't know
You said
how.
20,000?
Yeah, I don't know how cheerleading just swept under the rug and was able to get through, even just like the legality from different states limiting the amount of people that can be in one space. I have no idea. Shout out to Varsity TV for making it done. But if you guys still want to watch some,
Watch
stuff
that.
on TV this weekend that's sports related, I
They've
guess
had
you
to-
can watch Cheerleading Nationals. It'll
They've
be on
had to
Varsity TV.
cancel funerals because there'd be too many people in the
Weddings,
room. But
everything.
we're gonna watch these
Church is
cheerleaders.
canceled, but you can still watch Cheerleading Nationals
That is insane.
this weekend.
Well, but are any last thoughts on this? Anyone?
I'm looking for comments. I want to see what they have to say
Okay,
about
because I
that.
have something
You
that
don't
I
have
want to
nothing to say about cheerleading?
No, I agree because
I wonder
when you
if
said
they'll
20,000
wear
people
masks.
and you said it's still going on,
Yeah.
my next question, and you said this is here in California?
No, it's in Florida.
Oh, that's why.
Well, you
Sorry,
gotta
I mean,
lead
nobody-
with that.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
gotta
that's
lead
why.
with that one. Look.
Well, I mean, in California,
Well,
it
I
wouldn't
think
be
the
able to
Quest
happen.
one is here in California. There's two
Oh, okay.
competitions. Quest actually did limit it to just a one-day thing, which is today, instead of doing it throughout the weekend, to limit the access of, I guess,
Right.
instead of getting coronavirus over 3 days, you only have a one-take shot to get it today. I don't know.
That way you can call out on Monday.
Quest is in California, and then the other one, I believe, is going to be in Florida. Because that's where the...
Yep.
No, UCI is here.
I don't
I
remember.
don't know.
I didn't. Competitive cheer ended up like freaking me out a little bit because it was really intense. So I just ended up switching over to high school cheer. Anyway, I want to mention something really quickly. Giannis is following in Kevin Love's footsteps. He tweeted saying, "It's bigger than basketball, and during this tough time, I want to help the people that make my life, my family's lives, and my teammates' lives easier. Me and my family pledge to donate $100,000 to the Fiserv Forum staff. We can get through this together." So he's doing the exact same thing as Kevin Love. We were talking about this earlier in the live, which athletes are going to be following
You didn't even
in.
name him, but he's definitely
I
somebody
think
would
it's
have on my
good
list
too
too.
because
Yeah.
it puts pressure on the owners now.
For
Like,
sure.
If the players are doing this, the owners have to be like, oh,
I think Mark Cuban put pressure
Yeah,
on
Yeah,
the
he's
owners,
he's
to
the
be
one
real.
that said, he started
And then
the
Kevin
movement.
Love just added fuel to the fire. Like, I'm a player and I'm doing it before my owner. It's just like, oh Lord.
Yeah.
So you know,
the
look,
Warriors though, where y'all at? Where
Warriors
y'all at?
and James Dolan. I know
I
both
know.
of them ain't gonna do a damn thing.
I know. Feel like that's not
And
going
the
to
Lakers,
happen.
those are the top 3 most successful franchises
Yeah.
in basketball, and none of them have came out with any plan to do anything yet.
Yeah, I'm actually
Yeah.
surprised
But
by
if,
that.
Now, if they don't start on Wednesday, if that post you got earlier is false, then maybe we'll see more owners on Wednesday come out and be like, okay, now that we know this is a thing, we were just trying to wait and see.
Yeah,
That's what
right,
I would
right,
say if
right.
I was the owner and I didn't
Hey,
do it
back
right away.
pay, back pay.
I'd be like,
Because I'm
yep.
living paycheck to paycheck.
I would do that too, and I would say, you know what, we're gonna back pay you from the time for the money you've lost. We really just had to wait and see so we could get this under control. I would Olivia Pope this and make it seem like I was really just on top of it and trying to get all my ducks in a row.
I really appreciate that Giannis, Kevin Love, and Mark Cuban have taken action early on in the game. I think it makes them look great. It
Right.
obviously shows that they care about the people who
Yeah.
help put the games on. So I applaud all of
I
them.
just wish the actual bosses went first. That's
And
that's
yes,
my
I
beef.
agree.
Well,
That's-
a boss did go first.
Well, I mean, of the teams. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
no Mark Cuban. I'm talking about like.
Because honestly, I don't think a lot of people were even thinking about that before
No.
Mark
No.
Cuban said anything. So
Yeah.
him just even bringing light to it, and that was the first thing he said after he said, "I'm worried about my family." The next thing he said before he even got to talking about the players,
went.
what was going to happen, was the people that worked at American Airlines
sure
Arena.
did.
So
He
He's
sure
that guy
did.
though.
Yeah.
He's a good dude.
Yeah. All right. Well, any last thoughts, you guys?
It's the weekend.
Yes.
Stay home.
say how, yesterday
And
I
don't
also got a
overshop.
bunch of wine, so I'm gonna stay
Nice.
home, drink some wine.
Eat my frozen vegetables.
See, that looks like my LeBron dance. Are you stealing my LeBron moves for your
Oh
vegetable
my
dance?
goodness.
I
We
mean,
got
is that
one of these lives are going to be an intervention for Jackie. One of these lives. We're going to dedicate it to be an
Won't work.
intervention for
Everything's
Jackie.
about LeBron James.
Yes.
I know, seriously.
We're going to have
I
a
love
low
it.
light reel. I'm like, this is your boy LeBron James.
And I'd be like,
He's
no.
missing dunks, missing shots.
I think
And then
we
I would
should
be
do
like, this is your Knicks since for when?
But the thing is, I've seen it so many times. I'm
We
immune.
need
I'm
to
ready.
do like what they do at baby showers, where like every time she says LeBron,
Yes.
she gets like a thing put on
No.
her. Like,
Oh,
just like,
yes.
See how many times she says his name
Do me
in
like
one
a
show.
bride then,
Love
and
it.
then every time I say LeBron, put $1 on me. Let's do that.
No, you
I'm
gonna
like,
put
I
a
ain't
dollar in the
James
thing. You gonna put $1 in the pot. That's your dollar going in the pot.
We'll start putting
Hey,
that
you need to do a little
together.
dance or something.
We'll start putting that together for a future episode. But that wraps up this episode, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great weekend. Stay safe out there. Wash those hands, people.
Handshake.
Wash
This
those
is a handshake.
hands. Thank you so much.
There you
Yep,
go.
feeling real good. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.